How many of you have heard the term Swedish death cleaning? If you're curious about this topic and you want to know more, then this is the video for you. I'm going to talk all about Swedish death cleaning, how it's done, and why it works. And I'll be honest, the first time I heard this term, I sort of envisioned a all-nighter type of declutter where you just blast through your entire house, just decluttering everything, cleaning everything up until you feel so tired and exhausted you feel near death. That's the first thought that came into my mind. I wanted to learn a little bit more about the topic, and so I picked up the book, The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning, and it's by Margareta Magnusson. She is, as she says, between the ages of 80 and 100 years old, and she tells about the tradition in the Swedish culture of cleaning up your life and getting your affairs in order before your death. And in Swedish, the way to say this is, let me see if I can say this right, dadstädning? I'm not sure. In the Swedish culture, they take this as a natural progression, and it's just something that a lot of people just do around the age of 65. But the author does say in the book that it really can work for any age. If you are looking at your items in a certain type of way, that it can benefit really anybody. A lot of people try really hard to leave a financial inheritance to their loved ones, but they're not really thinking fully about the other things that they are leaving behind as well. And the largest takeaway that I got from this book, and the kind of aha moment for me, was this statement: whatever is left behind is going to become a barrier between your loved ones and their process of grief and healing. We all want people to have fond memories of us after we pass away, and leaving people with a pile of stuff and clutter to deal with is just not the way to do that. So the first thing that the author really talks about in the book is why we as humans tend to keep things, why we hold on to them in the first place. The first reason is because we have a clutter instinct. We want to make sure that we are living a life of abundance. We don't want to feel that we are lacking in any sort of way. Our second reason for keeping clutter is because we have a hoarding instinct, and that just comes down to survival. We are thinking that we want to make sure we have those things available in case of emergencies. We're scared we're going to be needing something that we might get rid of. And the third reason is because of our fear of death and our fear of the thoughts of us and our memories just basically disappearing. We need to have a sort of mindset shift in order to really think about this in an appropriate way when we are decluttering using this Swedish death cleaning method, and that is to ask yourself one big question. Will anyone be happier if I keep this item? In reality, a lot of the things that we keep as personal items are personal to us only. That doesn't mean that that's going to be special to somebody else. When your loved ones come across the belongings that you have left behind, will they wonder why you kept them? Will they even know which items were special to you or which items have a history? And so to me, that really is the most beautiful part of the Swedish death cleaning method, is that you are able to, in life, really share those memories with your loved ones and let them know why this particular item was held onto, why it was so special to you. And you can even tell the person that you have plans to gift this item to in an inheritance why you want them to have it. Margareta explains 3 different ways that you can go about doing a Swedish death cleaning. The first is the most private approach, and that is to simply go through your belongings at your leisure. You can donate or sell anything that you aren't using, and those items that get the answer no from the question that we talked about earlier. And then label the special items that you decide to keep in some way. Either add a little note about why you have kept it, maybe a little letter about the history of the item, how it came into your possession, and if you'd like, you can even make note of who you would like the item to go to after your passing. The second way is, I think, how a lot of people go about a Swedish death cleaning, even if they're not calling it that. And it comes about when someone is moving from the home that they've lived in for many years, and they're downsizing to move to maybe an apartment or an assisted living facility, and they just really need to just get the job done. And so they bring all of their children and other family members, they kind of gather everybody in, and start going through everything all at once and kind of making those decisions on the spot. I think this is kind of an overwhelming way to do this. I know that my mother-in-law, when she helped her parents go through their farmhouse filled with items, it was very draining, not only for her, but also for her parents, who had to kind of have this flood of remembering all of these memories all at once. And it's hard to make good decisions when you feel rushed and pressured into doing so. And the third method, which I think is probably the most practical and the one that I will be trying to implement myself, is to slowly gift items over the course of several years to friends and family. Remember, when you're doing a Swedish death cleaning, it's not all about those sentimental, super special items. You can even be thinking about household items. For example, maybe you have a large piece of furniture that will not fit into your new, smaller home, but you know of a loved one who has always admired it. Gifting it while you are still alive and seeing the joy that it can bring to someone else might even give you a level of peace and comfort during this process. Be careful though not to guilt items onto a new owner. Remember that personal items that are special to you may not be loved in the same way by someone else, and that is totally okay. Another little note that the author mentioned that I don't think a lot of people take time to think through is all of those personal, very secret, very special items that you might be hiding away. Your eyes only type of items, maybe some private journals or some photographs that you really would be very horrified if you knew that your family came across after your death. You know, those things are the type of things that you should probably think about getting rid of before you're passing so that they're not confronted with them after you're passing. Just a little side note that you could think about. All right, so my final thoughts on the Swedish death cleaning method. I think that it is very similar to a process of decluttering, such as the KonMari style, or just, having a minimalist mindset. But really, it takes on a whole new level. And I think that it has a special nobility about it because you're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about what you're going to be leaving your loved ones, and you're really lessening the burden for them. And so in that way, I think that it does have a little bit more value than just a traditional declutter, I'm going to get rid of all sorts of things. It really should be a very special time in your life where you're able to, hold these items in your hands and relive the memories that those items bring to you, and cherish those memories and remember how blessed that your life has been. So if you frame it that way, I think that it can be very beneficial for you. And I'm curious if you are someone who has done a Swedish death cleaning and you have some wisdom to impart, or if you are someone like me who is just about to start trying this method, maybe it's the first time you've heard about it and you're willing to give it a try, let's chat together down below and we can kind of share some different ideas, different tips. We can get some wisdom from those that have already done it. Let's chat in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.